Hi there, I'm Beth from messymarriage.com with another edition of Sloppy Joe Time. Today I want to talk about an unhealthy dynamic that develops when you have a marriage that has been in crisis, where maybe wounds have gone on undealt with in both spouses, and maybe unhealthy patterns. Like, for example, in my marriage, early in the messy marriage years, my husband and I had sort of this unhealthy dynamic that I see a lot in the couples that I work with. One is where I tended to detach and remove myself emotionally from my marriage. And my husband would try to pursue me, but he would pursue me with hostility or criticism or control. And we would get on that crazy cycle. We would begin to argue and I would want to retreat. And it created this division between us in the relationship. And over time, what also develops in those kinds of relationships is a victim mentality. And I recognized at some point, God brought that reality to my attention that I did have that victim mentality. And what I mean by that, when I deal with couples or wives in a difficult marriage, I ask them, tell me about your marriage, tell me what's going on, and they'll begin to tell me about their spouse. And if they go down the road of a long laundry list of complaints, or if my husband would do this, or if he would just stop doing that, then our marriage would improve. And then I say, well, what if you responded differently in that situation? What are you doing to bring about a positive? And if they go right back to saying, well, it's really, if he would do that and I just can't seem to handle this, then I know they probably are stuck in that victim mentality. And when you're in a victim mentality, you feel hopeless, you feel helpless, because you've given all your power to that spouse who you are focusing on, and you're saying that that spouse is the person who is deciding whether or not your marriage is good or not. And I'm not saying that choosing to become empowered and really take charge of what you have responsibility over will save your marriage, but I guarantee that you will begin to feel better. You will begin to feel more empowered, more refueled, especially if you are turning to the Lord in these areas. It's as small as just changing the way you deal with an argument, learning how to respond without reacting, or looking for the good in your spouse, or taking captive those negative thoughts that you let run through your mind. Those are all small areas that in time will begin to make you feel better. And if you're feeling better and you're responding differently, that's going to change the dynamic in your relationship. May not change your marriage, may not save it, but it will help you to go into a better, healthier mode with your spouse. And should your marriage not make it, then you've got that peace that God has given you to work forward in your own life in a better, positive way. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you'll join me again for another Sloppy Joe Time.